I believe that the Harris County District Attorney's Office should make sure that a grand jury returns a criminal indictment for some type of criminal charge in this case. Exactly what it's going to be and what it should be, I'm not sure. But I know for a fact this was not just a simple act of a good citizen defending himself.
So I think the question that your group needs to ask yourselves is who started it? The dude was eating dinner, minding his own business at his local taqueria in Houston. He wasn't out trying to rob someone. None of this would have happened if he didn't go in there that night to try to rob the place with a toy gun. Big thanks to our good friends over at Venton for sponsoring this video. Now, you guys have seen them on the channel before. I just wanted to give you guys an update on my bike. Still in beautiful shape after riding it a ton. And I gotta say, those big tires on the road and the suspension system that it has, it is amazing with being a bigger guy. The simple truth of a Venton is that they are top tier e-bikes at an affordable price. And their frames are built to be compatible with most accessories. And they've even got new lower e-bike prices now. So there's gonna be a link below the video. Go check out venton.com and go pick you up, hands down, one of the best e-bikes out there. Everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, subscribe. It's totally free. We got some amazing content coming out. So the other day, a guy went into a Houston taqueria with a fake gun. Yes, a fake gun. Like, that's gonna do anything here in Texas. Like, what was the thought process on that? Hey, honey, I'm gonna go get us some cash. I'm gonna pick up a little water gun on the way there, though, just to see if I can fool some people. But anyways, there's a lot of these activists out there. It seems like everyone's an activist nowadays. And they're saying that this man took it too far. A quick reminder on what the mom said.
And when he falls down and he shoots him 4 more times, he abused him. He was dead already, and that hurt.
I know it's probably a sad day anytime somebody's son or daughter dies. I don't think any mother or father should have to go through that. But I think it's important to look at the entire situation, right? He wasn't going in there to get a snow cone or to order a beer or to get a sweet tea. He was going in there to terrorize people. That's as simple as it gets. It wasn't just go up to the register and quietly say, hey man, I got a gun right here. I need the cash. No, he wanted to walk around, be a gangster about it, wave the gun around like he's some badass. So I'm gonna go more into what I think, but let's kick this off. Let's listen to what these activists think should happen. And mind you, the gentleman who talks first, let me make sure I get this right. His name is Quanell X, and he is the leader of the new Black Panther Nation. My God, I mean, if the guy who got shot was Mexican, you would be literally anywhere else except making a statement about this. Gotta love the progress we're making on all the racist crap in this country. Hell yeah.
About the killing that took place at this restaurant here in this parking lot a few days ago.
First of all, you gotta love the camera person. Are they just that bad, or are they just messing with this guy? Like, let me see what's in his eye. Did a fly just fly in there? Those look like some pretty nice glasses. I may have to go pick me up a pair of those. All right, go ahead, Quanell X.
One, we are not condoning the actions or the behavior of the perpetrator who was robbing the restaurant. He was absolutely wrong for what he was doing, and he deserved to go to prison for the robbery he was committing. That's one. So under no circumstances are we here saying that he should not have been punished. He deserved to be punished. 2, the quote-unquote Good Samaritan, he was within the law when he fired the first initial shots.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I figured there was going to be some sort of excuse for why he was going in there. Maybe he needed money, something like that. But you owned it pretty good. But you're missing something. But continue.
But we believe he went from being a law-abiding citizen to a lawbreaker. When he walked up on that young man was no longer a threat to him.
Perfect. So he went from being a law-abiding citizen to a lawbreaker. Now, if we're looking at this in terms of the law, and if I was an attorney, what I would argue for him, if he ever got charged for something in regards to this, I would say, was he trained? Not just with a gun, but was he trained in a situation like this? Right? Because what can we really compare this to? The only real entity we can compare it to is how police handle this. Does he have the same training as police? Can he put together in his mind that, yeah, he's on the ground, but does he have another gun in his back pocket? Well, I better make sure that if he does, he can't use it.
You have a right to use deadly force just so long as the person is no longer a threat to you. When he walks up on that young man was no longer a threat, and according to the witnesses, the gun had slid to the left of the young man's body.
See, but that's the problem though. You're taking this as a situation after the fact. You have to look at it from the perspective of the person who's defending himself and everyone inside the store. At the time, did he definitively know that this guy didn't have a knife on him, for example? Did he definitively know that he didn't have another gun? Maybe some pepper spray. I mean, he could have had a whole bunch of stuff on him. Now, yes, he was on the ground, but he wasn't dead yet. He still could have reached in his pocket and grabbed something.
He stood over the young man and shot him multiple times over and over again when he was no longer a threat. He takes the young man's gun, goes back to the counter with it.
Okay, look, every activist out there thinks that they're an expert at whatever they're talking about. The reality is what you're saying makes no sense, and it doesn't add up in the video. He didn't shoot him multiple times after he was no longer a threat. He's not taking any chances. What's the problem with that? Oh, that's right, you guys are the Black Panthers, so we all know what that means. Imagine if there was a white Panthers out there, and every time a white person got shot by a black person, for example, in downtown Chicago, we had some white person go up there and say, well, we wouldn't be up here if the person was black, but we're white, so we got to say something to make the black guy look worse and not follow the facts of the story. And, you know, if we can be in a suit, we'll try to do that. No, it's stupid. I don't care what color you are. If you go into a store and you try to rob the place and somebody handles you, that's on you. It's not a race issue. It's not all this politic crap.
Then he leaves and doesn't call 911. He doesn't wait for the police. He leaves the property. That man went from being a law-abiding citizen to now committing criminal acts and criminal crimes.
Here's the thing though, and I do agree, normally you shouldn't leave the scene in a self-defense situation. But whenever you see a video out there of maybe a home robbery or drive-by shooting or just something like this, how often is there an accomplice? I would say 9 times out of 10, whether it's someone coming into the store with them, waiting outside, being the lookout, or someone who's the getaway driver. So I would have left too, because it's at night, it's in downtown Houston, and if there is someone outside watching or waiting for this guy to come out with the cash to drive off, he's probably heard the shots at this point.
We believe, and I believe, that he should be charged with something.
Great, great. Let's charge him with something. What would you like to charge him with? I mean, you put your best suit on, you're all dressed up, and you're saying let's charge him with something, but you can't say what he should be charged with. What would you charge him with? You're not going to charge him with murder, like too much of a badass self-defense shooting. I mean, you would almost have to make up a charge for this.
Because we cannot have a society where our citizens are judge, jury, and executioner. Based on that man's behavior, we don't need a criminal justice courthouse. We don't need judges. We don't need prosecutors. We don't need the police. We don't even need prisons.
See, that's where probably most of the people in Texas disagree with you. Yes, there is the court process. And to be honest with you, most of them are crap. Look at the people who commit all these crimes and get out with no bond. This is the best kind of justice out there. You're wrong on all points. This guy's a hero because if the guy walked in with a real gun and it was indistinguishable at the time, he could have killed everyone in there. You can't pick and choose how someone decides to defend themselves. If you decide that you are going to take your chances on someone and say, you know what, that person looks like they would be easy to rob. Maybe it's an old woman. You're taking your chances that she isn't trained, doesn't have a gun, and wouldn't pop you in the face.